Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby, and this video is going to be all about crew skills for your light tanks. I have quite a few light tanks in my garage, and generally they all prioritize the same crew skills. Generally for my first skill that I will take on all of my light tanks, it will be camouflage. That's because light tanks get a bonus. They do not lose any camo rating for moving, so they're just as camouflaged while they're moving as they are when they're stationary. However, don't be fooled that this is the same for when they're firing. When they're firing, this camo bonus is severely reduced. So I recommend taking camouflage on every skill member as your first skill. When you have reached 100%, I recommend dropping for either credits or for gold, and as soon as possible getting 6 cents on your commander. You can see that that's what I have done in my T71. For the other possible crew members, the second skill that I recommend that you take is snapshot for your gunner, off-road driving for your driver, situational awareness if you have one of the few light tanks in the game with a radio operator, and some tanks are going to be able to take situational awareness on their loader, like you can see here in the WZ132 light tank. I took repairs here before situational awareness, but I don't recommend that you do that. Situational awareness is a 3% bonus to your view range, and your view range is your lifeblood in your light tanks, so prioritize that as soon as you've got your camouflage up to 100%. So now you're working towards your third skill. You want to have 6 cents on your commander, camouflage on your commander, and now you want to get the recon skill. After the recon skill, you probably want to be taking repairs on your commander. Once you have a third skill available on your gunner, I personally recommend to take the perk designated target. Now feel free to take this perk as soon as your second skill gets fairly high, maybe to around the 80% mark where the decay starts to set in for improvement to time invested ratio. And as soon as you get up to about 80-90% on your second skill, think about taking that designated target perk and then reassigning camouflage with your remaining points. After designated target, I recommend that you take snapshots. And then after snapshot, you probably want to be getting repairs. For your driver, in my opinion, after you have completed your off-road driving, I feel that you should get clutch braking. However, of course, there's the option for repairs if you're in a light tank which is higher tier. There's also the option for controlled impact if you think that you like to ram if you're in one of the heavier light tanks. Or the possibility of smooth ride if you like to fire on the move, if maybe your gunnery skills are more important to you. Preventative maintenance could be useful on some tanks, considering that I often like to not use a fire extinguisher and use improved combat rations. However, I still feel that the ones you want to prioritize are the camouflage, the off-road driving, the clutch braking, and the repairs. On your radio operator, you want to prioritize camouflage, followed by situational awareness, possibly followed by taking the Call for Vengeance perk. However, I wouldn't take this personally. I would probably go for the repairs, and by that point you're using Brothers in Arms, so you've got a 4-skill crew, so if you have any more skills, if you're working on your 5th, then perhaps take the signal boosting. But I feel that the relaying and the signal boosting are only strong in certain tanks that do have very low signal ranges, and generally not the light tanks. Some loaders will be able to use that situational awareness as I have highlighted, so make sure you get that. That's a very important 3% to your view range. And then after that, I really recommend that you try and prioritize repairs, the camouflage. By that time, you've got the Brothers in Arms and you've got a 4-skill crew. If you ever have the ability to get safe stowage, then there's another opportunity for you. But really in a light tank, you're not getting shot that much, or you shouldn't be at least, and that means that safe stowage and adrenaline rush are not so useful. So there you have it. That's the path that I would take in my light tanks. Now, one word about repairs on light tanks. It's only the very high tier light tanks such as the AMX 1390 that I would really recommend getting repairs on. Having over 1,000 hit points means that you can take a fair few shots in the game. Generally in other light tanks such as the Type 64, which only have 580 hit points, if you get shot once, you're generally on half health, and if you get shot again, you're dead. So my thinking is that if you get hit once and it takes your track off, you repair your track, and that's your life in a way in a light tank. And generally if you're getting hit again, you're dead. So there's very little point to having repairs in my opinion. However, in your AMX 1390, quite often you can get tracked You can repair it, and then you might still have, you know, your full health of 1,100 left. That's enough to justify thinking about getting repair on your crew. Of course, you see me not using Brothers in Arms right now on my Type 64 crew. That's because of the radio operator that is required. So as soon as I get this radio operator up to being able to have that first perk, I will be taking 6th Sense on my Type 64. As a rule of thumb, Brothers in Arms is not achievable in World of Tanks until you have got your 3rd skill. Now the reason for this, in my opinion, is that 6th Sense is so effective that you cannot afford to not use 6th Sense. And because 6th Sense is a perk and Brothers in Arms is a perk, that means until you get your 3rd skill on all of your crew, you cannot justify, in my opinion, using it. As soon as you do get that 3-skill crew, think about reassigning your crew skills and then go through the order that I suggested to buy again. Realistically, scouts are going to be completely powered with a 4-skill crew, and because they like to use camouflage, they are one of the tanks in the game that really do like to have a very highly experienced crew. So guys, I hope this video has been useful to you. Consider rating it down below if it has, and thank you so much for watching. You've been epic. Think about checking out some of my other crew videos, and hopefully I'll see you soon.